What's happening, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the Crash Bang Boom Podcast, episode 288. We're nearing 300 episodes, which is just crazy. Today's guest is Lu Aponte of Philly's own Jesus Piece. Lu and I get into everything from drumming to DJing, splitting time between New York and Paris, the unorthodox means of recording their recent record, So Unknown, the greatest croissants in the world, and much more. So I hope y'all dig it. Today's episode is sponsored by oneuploops.com. Drummer Carson Gain and his team spend an incredible amount of time recording over 450,000 shaker, tambourine, and hi-hat loops at every possible tempo in multiple fields with incredible mics and outboard gear for you to pick and choose. It's organized for you to find exactly what you need with just a few clicks, and everything feels and sounds incredible. You can sign up for free to check it out and gain full access to all 450,000 loops starting at just $6 a month. No download limits, whatever you want, whenever you want. New loops, one-shots, and drum breaks are being added weekly. Definitely a great addition to the arsenal of any drummer and or producer, and I can vouch for it myself, having used it. Check it out at oneuploops.com. Crash Bang Boom Podcast can be found where all podcasts are found, including Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and more. If you like what you hear, please check out any of the previous 280-plus episodes, and you can give me a like and or a subscription or even a positive review, as I would appreciate it. All right, let's jump right in. Lu Aponte, Jesus Piece, on tour this year with Sanguisugabogg, if I pronounced that right, and Sepultura's final tour. Be on the lookout for him. Crash, bang, boom!
Crowds go mad with joy.
All right, Lu Aponte of Philly's Jesus Piece. Apparently, Lu, you are not in Philly and you're between a few places. But thanks for joining me on the podcast. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, dude.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in New York. I just got back from Paris 2 weeks ago. I'm here half the time, and I spend half the time with my wife in Paris.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you meet your wife on tour?
I met my wife because she is also a DJ, and she hit me up over the pandemic, and she asked me to be on her radio show. And so we linked through that, and she took a loophole through Mexico to get here. We met, and she never left. So now that the world opened, now we're in between her home and mine.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
I've only been to Paris once, France as well, really only in Paris, and had a good time. Europe is one of those places that I need to get back. My wife lived in Paris as well for at least like a half year or so, something like that.
Does she speak French?
She could speak French. Yeah, she speaks Spanish, French, Portuguese, and English.
Damn. That's awesome.
Yeah, she spent some time down in Brazil too, like learning that. I guess if you learn enough Spanish, Portuguese isn't that far off. So she's got both of those.
Okay, nice.
You know, if you don't use it, you will lose it. So thankfully, going with her, she had to kind of brush up with it to order, croissants and whatever beer I was drinking in some ungodly fucking hour, and it's funny too because the Parisians, you hear things as an American. Americans often have kind of this certain perspective on Parisians in particular, and some of that was confirmed. I was like, you know what? No offense to like the Parisians, but there's a lot of assholes in Paris.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's so weird because I have such a heart for Paris now because I actually used to hate France a lot. I used to be like, because it was just through tour.
Yeah,
and you don't really get to experience or honestly like see, and it's not of anything I'm that interested in. I'm not super into like sitting at the cafe. I don't drink coffee. I don't smoke cigs.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, but now that I have like a family there and a crew, and I just really appreciate, especially the food. I just appreciate the lifestyle because I'm so used to like go. You know what I mean? Like everything has to be hustle. So to be able to like go there and I feel like kind of awkward and I'm like, well, I can like kind of chill, I guess, a little bit, or it doesn't always have to be like so all the time.
Right.
But I feel like, I don't know. It's funny because one of my first times there, I think when you start to embed yourself into another culture and country, you start to see how you were in the beginning. I used to always be like, French this, French that, Americans are just what I'm used to. It's what I like.
Right.
And then I'm at like a restaurant and I hear an American guy being like, excuse me, do you guys have ranch? I'm like looking at him like, dude, what? Why are you come to France to eat ranch and like whatever you're used to? I think I think a lot of people have to be more curious and open, and also understanding that not everything is revolving around what they're used to.
Of course,
That was
man.
like a big shock for me because I thought I was super open-minded, and I was like, nah, I love to explore cultures, but really I was pretty closed-minded about that.
Right, right. Well, you know what's crazy? I mentioned eating croissants in France, and I made it a point just to eat as many as possible because I'm always curious where I can get like one, my favorite one. I gotta say, my favorite, if you're in New York, if you haven't had Nick and Sons, have
No,
you,
I've never been there.
bro? Go! It's the greatest. Again, my wife lived in France and Paris, ate croissants all the time. She said it's the best one she's ever had. It's the best one I've ever had. Nick and Sons in
Nick and
Brooklyn.
Sons? I'm gonna
Yeah,
write it
dude.
down. I live in Brooklyn, so that's not too far. Is it in Williamsburg?
It's in that area, yeah, like I think East
Okay.
Williamsburg area. But you definitely got to try it. You can show up kind of early. There's generally a line to get to them because the word is out. Like most things in New York.
Okay.
But it's where if you can get your hands on a couple, dude, I would love to know what you think about it, especially considering that
Easy.
you spend some
No, for
time.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Definitely gonna head there. My wife, she has her nose up for how things are, especially croissants, or what she likes about the food there. So we're gonna be a little judgy about it. There was a
Right.
place called there was a place on Bowery called oh, it closed down now. Anyway, it was owned by a French guy, and it was very, 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 very good there. It's
Yeah.
expensive though.
Oh yeah.
When you come to Brooklyn, you get like the croissants like $4. In Paris, it's like $1 or like
Right.
€1 or something. So it's a big difference. But I get it. If it's quality, I'll pay.
I hear you, man. So, Jesus Piece, it looks like announced. Just looking at like the latest announcements of tour dates and everything that y'all have going on, which looks like a good bit later this year, opening up for the Sepultura final run. That's one of them, right?
Yeah, that's one of them for sure. Yeah. I mean, we just got off of a world tour actually. We were touring since August.
Wow.
We were on tour with Hatebreed. We were on tour. I mean, we did a whole bunch of stuff. We just came back from Southeast Asia, China, Korea, Japan, and then we finished off in Europe and UK. And that was, I mean, all of the shows were amazing. It was really awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then this year we have a co-headliner with I don't know how to say their full name still. They're Sanskriskabog.
Yeah, I saw
I'm
that
just gonna
name. I
call them
was like,
Bog.
yeah, just Bog.
They're amazing band though,
Right.
really amazing. Yeah, that's gonna be super fun. Just a full US, and then we have, which is not announced yet, a full European like festival run in August,
Yep.
and then yeah, the opening up for Sepultura, Obituary, and Ginger.
Damn,
That's coming
dude.
in end of October into November, I think.
Right. How do you balance being in New York and then Paris and then getting, I mean, I guess if you're going to be touring Europe anyway, do you just go to Paris anyway and then you're based out of there? Or?
I mean, because it's more about balancing my DJ life and the band. It's more because the DJ life is more consistent because it's like kind of gigging like every weekend, and Jesus Piece is more like a set amount of blocks, a block of dates. It's like
Right.
so that I think that's actually what makes it pretty easy to go in between countries is that like we know that in come April we're going to be gone for a month, and then obviously we're not going to be gone for like another month right after that. So
Yeah.
I have time to like balance things and but we're actually transitioning to staying in one place because it's getting a little too expensive to be both places.
I bet.
I think I'll make my way to Europe actually full time.
Crazy, man. When you're
Yeah.
DJing, what are you DJing, generally speaking?
Just a lot of like bass music, club music, some techno. Yeah, just like breaks, stuff like that.
Nice. How long have you been DJing?
I've been DJing only for a couple of years, but my dad is a hip hop DJ for early 2000s, so
Really?
it's been in my life for a long time. Like he got his first set of techniques, I think, and I forget what year, maybe 94. So yeah, it was something I was actually really against doing, but I've always loved electronic music, and so I just decided to kind of embrace it and take it more serious.
Wow. What does your dad think about all this electronic music and DJing and everything you're
Oh,
doing?
he loves it. He loves that I'm into music. It's his favorite thing ever. I mean, he never really got to tour and kind of live that like I guess life that he wanted. Or I mean, I'm not sure if that's what he wanted, but he's always wanted to be involved in music. He's happy to see me kind of just living out my dream.
Nice. What does he think about your band and drumming and all that?
He loves it. He brags about it to all his coworkers, and it's funny because my dad used to be super resistant to me like focusing on music and drumming. Obviously, he's my dad. He wants to protect me. He's like, have a plan B. Don't just focus on drumming. Don't just focus on that. And I used to be like, no. And he gave me like really solid advice. But now he's just, he's grateful and he's happy to see me out there.
Wow, man. And you mentioned the tour that y'all did last year. I'm assuming that was for the So Unknown record y'all put out in 2023, right?
Well, I guess the European headliner was that So Unknown tour, but
Hmm.
ever since then we just took like a really solid support stuff.
Nice. Where were some of your favorite places that you visited on the tour in 2023? You mentioned a lot of places.
Wow, that's so tough.
You did Southeast Asia?
Yes, yeah, yeah. We did Indonesia, we did Manila, Singapore, Thailand, China, and Korea.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I think honestly, China was the most impressive to me. I had really no expectations going in. My wife, she toured there DJing, and she said it was one of her favorite places she's ever been.
Huh.
Because it's actually, she feels, yeah, exactly. That reaction is exactly what I had. Because
Yeah.
I think it's as an American, I think you have such a idea of what China is or what it is, and or maybe you just have no idea and you're just like, but I'm good on going there. I don't really need to go there.
Right.
But actually, when you go there, it's beautiful. It's extremely beautiful. I've never seen the structures like this. The quality of the club was amazing. The people were extremely nice. The food obviously is very, very, very good. I only went to one city. I didn't really get to explore, but I definitely will make that my go-to for sure. I want to go back.
Interesting. So my wife and I did a trip. When we were still living in New York. We had just had our first son, and her mother came, my mother-in-law, and watched him. So we took like a 5 or maybe a 6 day. It was no more than 7 days. I think it was 6 days, which a lot of it was flying. So we basically flew from New York to Los Angeles, Los Angeles to China, China to Thailand,
Wow.
and then so we hung out in Bangkok. And then we were like, all right, we're going to go to Cambodia. So we went to Cambodia and went to like Angkor Wat and saw like all the ruins and everything
Wow.
out there. And that was an amazing experience. Cambodian food, I loved. The people were amazing. That was a really, really unique experience. But then on the way back, I was just thinking about this last night, coincidentally. We flew from Cambodia to Thailand, Thailand to China, China to LA, LA to New York. And when
Wow.
we got back to New York, I've never felt so jet lagged. I've never felt so like out of my head and so fucking exhausted. I think it
Yeah.
was the most exhausted and just like delirious that I've ever
Yeah.
been. Ever.
Dude, it's brutal. Like going to Australia is the same. It's pretty much the same process. It's like New York, LA to somewhere, and then somewhere to Australia. It's brutal, yeah. Especially like when you have to go there to play shows and work. It's like, oh, it's just so much. Australia is a funny one because like you travel so far and then you end up in a place it's nice, but it's not that much of a different culture. Do you
From
know what I mean?
America.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I flew all this way. I can't wait to like experience something completely different. And then you get there and you're like, everybody just has like mullets. Or, like,
Right.
no, I'm kidding. But
Nah,
like,
I don't.
no,
I wouldn't doubt it. That's
you know
funny.
what I mean though? Like, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
like to travel that far. Like, obviously, when you go to like Cambodia or China, it's like so worth it. It's like,
Yeah, you're
wow, like it makes sense.
clearly in another world.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, yeah, yeah. Traveling like that is painful sometimes, extremely painful. Yeah.
Damn, dude. Well, it's a good thing you don't drink, so then you don't get hangovers, I suppose. But if you don't drink coffee, do you drink Monster Energy drink? Do you drink some sort of caffeine to get yourself like up and rolling and trying to adjust through time zone changes and everything else? You just roll with it.
First of all, my vice in life is sugar. So if I need
Okay.
to, or snacks, I'll just like be like, you know what comforts me right now? A good bag of chips, like,
Oh
or
yeah,
like
hell yeah.
a good cake or something like that. And like, I already lost teeth because of this like vice. But yeah, I don't know. It's not that I'm against coffee. I just don't like the taste of it.
I don't either.
And when I'm in America, I drink yerba mate, like goyaki.
Uh huh.
When I go climbing, I just chug one of those, and I'm just like, it's like my only like energy thing I drink, and I don't know. Yeah, for some reason I'm like good on no sleep. I hope I stay like that for a long
How old
time.
are you?
About to be 30 this year.
Oh, okay. So you're still late 20s.
Yeah,
Yeah, you still got some of that
yeah.
youthful energy that can carry you through some of that.
I really hope that it maintains. I'm praying it does.
Yeah, I'm about 17 or 18 years older than you, so I can definitely say
Okay.
somewhere in the late 30s, early 40s. But then again, I'm mostly talking about how the hangovers affect me, which if you don't start drinking, that shouldn't be an issue for you. But it certainly is
Nah,
for me, man. The shit hurts different. It used to be a point of pride. I could wake up with a hangover and be like, this is like being on drugs or something. Today will be different, and just roll
this
through
is
it.
what it's like.
And then, nah, man, now I'm like just laid up, feel like shit. It kind of sucks.
Dude, I think if I drank, I would be like completely in shambles, like for sure. Like I already have so much energy and like so much like intense, like just so much inside. I think if I drank, it would just exasperate it, and I would just everyone would hate me. I'd definitely get into too many fights or something like
Right.
that. So it's better off I just stick to the candy
I hear you,
and the
man.
snacks.
Well, what's so unknown, man? What was your experience recording it? It's got a great sound. Some of these hardcore records, I'll just kind of blanket y'all within like the hardcore sort of realm of recording, even, which is a little more bombastic as opposed to like super technical, fast blast beats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I interviewed the drummer Chris from like Harm's Way, and they always have
Yeah.
like great drum sounds. I really liked the drum sound on your most recent record. What was the process of you recording it? I mean, a lot of engineers will say, like beat the cymbals not as hard, hit all the other drums, every like you would, but go easier on the cymbals so it's not bleeding through everything. And then some people are like, fuck it, we'll just have to figure it out after the fact. Which camp do you fall into?
Dude, well, in that sense, I'm not sure. I mean, I definitely am the camp where I need to just play how I feel,
Right.
because I feel like that translates. That translates so much to me on the record. A really important aspect for this record was just that we wanted to portray it as close to live without being raw as possible. Because I think one of the biggest things with Jesus Piece is that people hear the record and they're like, "Cool, that I like that record and it's solid." But then when they see us live and they feel that energy and they feel what we feel,
Mhm.
then they're like, "Okay, I get it now. I feel that." You know what I mean? And that was super important to me because I don't me in the studio, I feel super uptight, I feel stagnant, I feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable. So I have to feel like I'm playing to as close as the live show as possible, because the live show is where I'm just like letting it all out. Just I don't care. I'm just gonna play how I want. Obviously within reason. I know what I'm doing, but
Mhm.
in that sense, like the Randy, he was our engineer. He was really good about that. He had us just rehearse the songs a shit ton, like, and he was recording us, and then he would like MIDI all of our tempo changes
Uh-huh.
according to what was natural for us.
Mhm.
So it was a click, but it was like naturally you're slowing down in this part.
Right.
And I'm like, so I'm gonna match the click to the what you're at, 9 times out of 10 you rehearse this, you do that every time.
Yep.
So I'm gonna match that, and that to me was like the most beneficial, like freeing way to record I've ever done,
Yeah.
ever, because I was able to just play the song and he was like, yeah, you're rushing a little bit, but let's tone it down. But if it's like, okay, this part is 140,
Mhm.
this part is now 90, I'm like, dude, I can't do
Right.
that. Unless it's like this like super integral technical thing, like it needs to be completely on point, which it's not my style anyway.
Right.
No, I just can't drum like that.
Yeah.
So to me, I really enjoyed the process. I sat with him for like 2, 3 days, and he even like midied out some of my drum parts, and he was like, "Look, you do this fill a lot." He was like, "How about we try to write a new fill?" And we would sit down and MIDI, and like I'll mouth a new fill to him, and he would like MIDI, map it out. And we'll be like, "That fill sounds cool," and then I'll go record that fill instead of what I did last time.
Nice.
I mean, he was. I recommend him for any drummer for sure. If you are a guy that likes to be creative and kind of freeing and expressive, for recording, that's the best place to go. And we also recorded drums last.
Oh, wow. Really? That is super rare.
Yeah, I was super into it. The day he told us that, I was like, okay, I'm feeling. He was like, trust me, just rehearse all the songs. I'm gonna map everything out MIDI, and then we're gonna record all the tones and everything, and then at the end, so you have a better feel of what the tone will feel like, and then it's more natural for you to play like in that feel. I don't know. The way he did it was just super good. I mean, I don't know who we're gonna go to next for our next one, but I definitely would like to take that approach again.
Yeah, and that was Randy LaBeouf is his name?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's his last name.
He works out there with Will Putney, right?
I mean, they work in the same studio.
In
I'm
Jersey.
not sure that they worked. Yeah, in Jersey. Yeah, they used to live in Belleville, Jersey, and they just moved to another spot, and it's beautiful. I'm hoping to go visit.
Nice. When you said that the band recorded the tracks previously and sort of you layered it that way, then I'm assuming there were sequenced drums. He figured out what the band felt best at playing, tempo mapped that, and then you ended up playing your drums to that tempo map with all the pre-recorded tracks, essentially.
No, no, no. We rehearsed in his studio, like as a full band in a room. He recorded us,
Oh.
and then mapped out from there.
Oh, with y'all playing without a click.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just
Oh.
us, like how we were naturally. That's why you'll notice on the album the songs are really fast. They're really fast. And then now live, we were like looking back on it, we're like, maybe we played that too fast. So sometimes we slow things down a
Right.
bit, And like even I mean we changed a lot of things up live just to make everything fresh. But yeah. He we just played the songs like 20 times and he was just like listening, recording them all. Then we would go in the room and be like, okay, this part is cool. We would rewrite some parts. Yeah, and then he had them all mapped out. He's like, "You guys good with this tempo? Do you guys feel this is most natural?" And then he mapped out everything. So then to record guitars, he mapped out on fake drums all the stuff I was playing.
Right.
It was crazy. I was like, "Dude, you're like a genius." He's really good at the yeah. He could probably write a whole album just on fake drums. You wouldn't even notice. It's kind of crazy.
Damn, dude. With some of the
Yeah, he's skilled.
I hear you. With some of the bands that you toured with thus far, are there any particular drummers you especially liked watching live? You know, because I mean, in and out every night, everything gets a little redundant, including your own set and just the monotony of playing from night to night. But sometimes, you know, you can find continual inspiration from somebody, seeing them kind of night after night and still being like, damn, you know?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that almost every drummer in Japan was amazing.
Yeah?
Every band, they have such a high standard of quality in music
Yeah.
that it's like almost like unfair that they don't have more credit. Dude, all of the drummers there were nuts. There was just like it'll be like, oh, like our promoter Koba, our friend Koba would be like, oh, we have like, this death metal band opening. There's just young kids from this part of Tokyo. We're like, okay. In America, it's like you see an opening band, you're like, you don't know what to think. It's kind of just like, oh, whatever. And they could do some work or whatever, but no, it was like they were like next level. Like the drummer was so insane. He could easily play for Behemoth. I'm trying to think of what the band was called. And I don't know. I can try to think of it later. I'm not gonna spend time searching,
Yeah.
but yeah, almost every band. There was another band called Deserve to Die, who they played a festival with us. Nuts. The drummer, it was like a power violence band. The drummer was so solid.
Wow.
We got off tour with another band called Stiff Meds. They're like a punk kind of band, well, fast punk band from the UK. The drummer's awesome. He's definitely like he can play the shit out of a D beat. He blasts like no tomorrow. But it's less about how fast or impressive they are. It's more like the style, like
Yeah.
the way he hits. It's just fun to watch. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Matt Wood, he used to play in a band called Vane. I think he's on hiatus from them or something.
Mhm.
But he's amazing to watch for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really awesome drummers,
Yeah,
but
man.
for sure, those are the ones I can think of.
Yeah. Does your band ever get the correlation or connection with the New York band Candiria by any chance?
No, we never got that. I don't think we did. Why, do you feel that connection?
A little bit, yeah.
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 Yeah, I think that people have a hard time kind of connecting us to some bands though. I remember people in the past were trying to compare us to Disembodied, which is a compliment, but like I don't see that at all. I'm not sure what to compare us to, but that's an interesting comparison. I have to listen to them now and think from your perspective.
Yeah. The drummer Ken Shock is an awesome player. There's some video I'll have to send you of him playing like back in the day, just a smashing, crazy, weird style, very like kind of long-armed, real wild style. But they mixed in like kind of hardcore, like that New York hardcore break thing, but always mixed it with other stuff.
Right.
So they were really interesting, man. And I took a lesson with
Okay.
Ken some time ago, so I've been a fan of him for a long time. Was just curious about
That's
that.
awesome.
Are there any kindred spirits that you feel like out there in the music scene? Maybe you play with them, maybe you didn't. That you feel like maybe there's some connection to. I know you said people kind of have a hard time classifying y'all. I mean, I think there's definitely some of the hardcore element. I think there's like not so much on the drumming side, but like maybe some like death metal sometimes in there. But I feel like y'all have a lot. It's primarily what I would describe as kind of a hardcore, some mix of some kind of, something.
Yeah, that's so funny hearing you like try to describe it because I feel the same way. It's like people are always trying to be like, oh, we have to buckle you down somehow.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I don't think you're gonna be able to
No,
do
it's pretty
that
tough.
because like everyone in the band also comes from different backgrounds, and I think that's a big reflection of where we're coming from. I come from the punk scene and the just power violence, and I'm a huge fan of black metal.
Yeah.
But Dave and John, like the two guitar players, are really into death metal, and like they have like a deathcore metalcore background.
Gotcha.
And same with Aaron. Aaron is like he was really into deathcore and stuff like
I could
that.
see
But
that.
everyone also really loves like electronic music and ambient music. So we all, I feel like, are very well rounded. But we all met in the middle with all loving hardcore. So
Right.
I guess that's where the hardcore comes from because we're just a part of that scene.
Totally.
And that's just our life. So, but I guess we just implemented so many different sounds to this band.
Right. You mentioned like the kind of punk and maybe hardcore influences that you had. Were there any particular bands that kind of opened your eyes to that? Depending on maybe what you grew up listening to necessarily, and then how it might have taken a turn with some of the heavier stuff.
Well, I mean, I was a huge fan of new metal, which I guess is sometimes heavy.
It is,
Because I really liked Slipknot when I was in middle school,
right?
and System of a Down and stuff like that, and they have heavy parts.
Of
But
course.
I don't know. I don't know what my first like favorite. I mean, I really liked. You know what? I'm lying. I liked slam metal. Me and Dave used to love slam.
Okay.
Like we loved the Devourment demos. And I remember he was like, "Let's try to make some parts like this." And I was like, "All right, I'm down. I'm down to try." But I still wanted to play fast and stuff. So I don't know. I think that was like maybe a big influence for us was the Devourment demos. But there was nothing in per se that really like struck me as like my first heavy, death metal band or anything like that.
Gotcha. Of the shows that y'all play, and there's definitely a tangible level of intensity and just sort of visceral, kind of like chaotic atmosphere, I would say. Have there been some shows that y'all have played where even behind the drum set, you're thinking, this might go off the fucking rails. This might get out of control.
Like crowd
Yeah.
wise, ah, I mean often, yeah. Like I think often we definitely love when it gets out of control, but to be honest, as we get older, we're more like, if someone takes a really bad fall off the stage, we purposely like stop. We're like, you good? Everything good? Because like, we're a heavy band, and I think people are like, oh, but we're gonna fucking kill each other, and we do want people to kill each other, but like at the same time, I like want people to feel like comfortable to want to come up and sing because like dude as a band it's fun to like see people kill each other, but like it's boring to just have like a big horseshoe and like everyone's just like fighting pretty much, or everyone's just mad uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I like when people feel on edge and they're scared a little bit, but I just don't want it to be like I want everyone to have fun within their own reason, but I also don't want it to be like everyone needs to be safe and everything. It doesn't need to be safe, but
Yeah.
I just want no one to die. That's all.
Major injuries.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, shit happens obviously, but make sure everyone's picking each other up and looking out for each other, but otherwise you have to enter your own risk
Yeah.
or your own regard.
Absolutely, man. I was watching some live footage of y'all, and you had a pretty dry ride cymbal that you were using, and that had good stick definition. And I mean, you've got your crashes, and I guess I don't know if you play at China. I didn't remember, but is there something that you found works particularly well ride cymbal wise in a live setting?
I just want the bell to be extremely loud.
Right.
That's why I play currently I play a Zildjian Mega Bell,
Okay.
um, which is like a classic thing,
Yep.
but I like that because I never miss. You know what I mean? Like if I want to accent something, I'm never gonna miss. I'm never gonna hit the fell. I'm never gonna crash by accident. It's just there.
I
It's
hear you.
such an annoying symbol to be honest because it's heavy as hell and I'm never gonna crash on it. And I'm rarely like actually riding it,
Mm-hmm.
but because it's super strong in sound
Totally.
and it cuts through things. But yeah, I really like the bell. It's just necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I prefer if I don't have the bell, then I'll prefer just to play something really big that I can crash on also.
I hear you.
Yeah,
With snare drums, have you found one that works both in the studio and live?
studio and live, that's
I know.
tough. I mean, anything SGC makes is extremely good, so I'm just gonna go with that. I played a pork pie acrylic for like years. I'm talking like since like maybe Jesus P started, if not before.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of my like online videos or whatever, there's so many comments like, "What is that snare? I need that snare tone," which is like funny because I think the one This Is Hardcore video, which is a festival we played in Philly,
Mm-hmm.
there was a shit ton of comments like, "Oh, what is this snare tone? It's insane." But actually, I don't think I changed the head for like 8 months, and I like just cranked it, and people were like, "Dude, your snare tone is insane." Like specifically for this video, I'm like, "Dude, I literally took that snare out of like our practice space like that morning and was like, oh shit, I have to like play this festival because I didn't want to play another one."
Yeah. Was it the orange 13 by 7?
Yes,
The 13
yes,
by 7. I had
exactly.
the exact same snare.
It's such a classic. When I used to work at Guitar Center, I got it for so cheap.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm gonna ride with this, and it was my go-to, and I still love it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I ended up selling that one, but same here. I played that one a lot, and it would I could just throw like a 2-ply coated head on it, and it seemed like it always just was. That was the sound.
It just
Yeah,
worked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to put like too much. I don't like something that I have to put like every day. I'm like, okay, I need drums that like work, and like that one was super functional.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Unless I'm in studio, like really being precise. Like if I'm on the road, which is what mostly I'm doing, I need it to be like consistent, and I
yeah.
need to like be able to take a beating.
Hell yeah, man. On one of the videos that I was watching, you were doing some singing. Is that something that you do semi frequently?
No, I don't remember even doing
Really?
that. Yeah, it might have been just for a show where they were like, "Yeah, can you like just do this part?" Yeah, no, no.
Oh, that's
I think we
hilarious.
had one song. Yeah, I think we had one song. Well, we recorded one song where I sing on. Maybe he just wanted me to. Maybe we just talked about doing that part. I don't know. We change shit up every show. I think like
Okay.
we're like, yo, let's try this tonight, or you guys want to slow this breakdown down a little more, or speed this up a little more.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe it's just one of those shows where we just try something new. I don't know.
Damn, dude. How did you end up joining the band? Were you based out of Philly, like originally when the band first started out?
Yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania, so we were all from the around the same area, which is actually above Philly. And then we all moved to Philly at the same time, and then it was literally we just all started it together. And Aaron, the singer, was looking to be in a band, and he's an amazing vocalist, so we were like, yeah, of course.
Awesome, man.
So that's pretty much how it worked.
Yeah, man. How long had you been playing drums prior to doing Jesus Piece?
For some years, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I started in like middle of high school, but like before, it was weird because I started when I was really young, and I was playing on like boxes,
Yep.
and then my parents got me like a random like pawn shop drum
Uh huh.
kit, and I was like learning. I taught myself how to play drums on kit by learning like System of a Down covers.
Nice.
And then like I remember I had to sell my kit because we moved a bunch of times and stuff. But then randomly, I think in 10th grade I got another one, and then I started bands, and I was like, okay, and I like retaught myself how to just play like the basic punk beats,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there I just learned. I mean, the first Jesus Piece demo is me still kind of learning and finding my way and behind to feel comfortable behind the drum kit.
Right. What do you recall?
Yeah,
What year that first like that early demos were?
that first demo was 2015 or 14,
Okay.
and I picked it up pretty quick.
Yeah. One more year, you'll be at it for a decade. That's not much.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've been at it before that. I'm lying because I was playing in bands before Jesus Piece for sure.
Oh, okay.
My other bands were just more, they were just more straightforward. Like
Uh-huh.
I just knew I can play like some fills, and I needed to learn how to blast beat and play fast punk beats, and that's really it. I didn't have to like learn anything technical or play to a click or anything like that. So I would say Jesus Piece is my first band that I really sat down and was like, okay, I have to like get better at drums and like challenge myself more.
Yeah.
So no, I was playing for a while in bands for sure, but it's just that was like the first time where I was like, okay, I'm like actually playing drums now. It's
Nice.
not like bullshit.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, damn, man, it's been fun talking to you, dude. It sounds like you've got your work cut out for you between possibly, making your way towards Europe, DJ gigs, playing Jesus Piece, and everything in between, man. It sounds like it's going to be a wild year. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think it'll be good, and hopefully it keeps going.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, man. Right on. Well,
I
dude,
appreciate you having
yeah,
me.
man. Best of luck in 2024, my man.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks to Lou for catching up and talking about drumming and DJing and everything in between. I've enjoyed doing a little bit of both myself, so I definitely get it. Hot damn. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out. Crash, bang, boom.